Welcome back, YouTube, to It's Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got another compilation today from Courtney Ryan. It's a continuation from her thoughts on the rise of lonely men. This is actually the other women, or a lot of modern women, I think about 7 of them, giving their thoughts on the reason. So, again, please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. It's Chow Time, guys.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about the rise of lonely single men and the rise of sexless men. But instead of just me talking about it, since I've already covered this pretty in-depth on my channel, I wanted to bring other girls on and get
Again, if you guys wanted to see that, that was the video from yesterday.
Their opinion, what they think's going on, if they think women play any type of role in this. So
I'm going to go with very few of them are going to take any accountability on this.
I'm sitting down with 7 girls today, and we're going to be talking all about it. Let's get into it. So studies are showing that there's a decrease in men having sex. So 1/3 of men under the age of 30 are sexless, and there's also a rise in lonely single men. If you had to guess, why do you think this is the case?
I think dating is a lot different than it was back then, especially with social media and everything that's going on. I think men also these days too are sometimes more afraid to talk to women than they used to, I guess.
She's not wrong about that. A lot more men are, yes. It's called the Me Too movement.
I was just talking to a friend about this. I think just dating in general has completely shifted. It's harder now. It's a lot harder to have genuine connections or even people you want to hook up with, like with Tinder and Bumble and all that stuff.
Do you guys hear that? It's hard to find genuine connections with people you hook up with. That's not where you look for genuine connections.
So that would be my answer.
I really think it's because women stopped caring about douchebags. I know that's not the best word to use, but
I think they still care about douchebags.
Don't care and don't want to actually value women for who they are gonna be lonely because women are becoming a lot more
She's funny. The douchebags that she's talking about are the ones that are not lonely. It's the ones that, the incel types are the types that just don't know how to talk to people and are super nice. Those are the lonely men, not the douchebags.
independent, and they're becoming a lot more confident in being themselves, that they don't need no man. So I find that rise probably comes from those guys that don't want to put in that extra effort and actually put their pride aside and make a woman feel loved.
I feel like a lot of it might have to do with maybe like working remote, since we're all so I feel like I'm at home a lot more than like I ever was before, and like since I work remote personally, like not going out and meeting as many people like through like work friends or like going out as much, I feel like people just aren't interacting as much as like they used to be on the day-to-day, like physically. People
Okay,
just,
physically
like,
I agree with her. Yeah.
On
Face-to-face
Snapchat
wise,
and
yes.
Instagram.
So less like in-person human interaction, and
I'll agree with
everything's
that.
kinda
I can
moving
agree with
towards
her.
being online.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then I also feel like women are just being more selective over like how they want to be treated and how
It all always comes down to women and how they want to get treated and things like that. And it never says anything else about it's always how men treat women. It's never anything the opposite.
social media. I feel like it's so easy to compare like what other relationships, like what they're doing, like what kind of experiences like a couple's going through, like, oh, they're on this nice like luxurious vacation, and like this man doesn't want to like take me on that, so like screw him or something in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I would say pornography has something to do with it, just because it's so
Agreed. Pornography does have a huge part in why a lot of men are lonely and single.
easily accessible that men don't really have to like put in the effort to go out and seek a mate when they can just like
100%. A lot of men now, yes, don't have a drive to look for a purpose or to have a purpose because they kind of get everything they want from porn and video games. So
do it at the comfort of their space. I would say another reason is just the work and personal life balance. People are obviously too ambitious now, which is a great thing, but to like keep up with the economy and demanding lifestyle.
I think people are just as ambitious as they are before, but yes, the demanding of the lifestyle nowadays is quite different just because a lot of women live a very extravagant lifestyle.
It's kind of hard to maintain a nice work and personal life balance, and men don't really see the worth in going out to find a potential mate. They would just rather spend that energy on working towards their goal.
She's not wrong. Men on their purpose should be spending their money on their future and building things than spending their time and money on women.
Goals and ambitions. So just like a busy working life.
Incels? Reddit? 4chan?
Just straight up blame incels and Reddit. Okay.
I think it's largely a them problem, would be my guess.
I think
Just straight up blame the men for it. No accountability for women at all for why.
I don't know. I feel like post-pandemic, people don't like interact with each other as much. This is kind of off topic, but like when I used to walk down the street, I would always be like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Or like, hello to people, you know, and just like talk to people. And I feel like now that's not really happening. I think people are more drawn into themselves. And I don't know.
Or you're
why
older and you're not
it's
getting the
still
same kind of
like
attention
that.
as you were before. That's possible too.
I think the internet too, obviously there's a community for this. I feel like people are kind of getting more hateful. I don't know. It's just, things are changing. I think people need to open up more. If it's a choice, that's fine. I don't think everyone needs to have a super high sex drive. I personally don't have a super high sex drive, so if someone's not super sexually active, does not matter to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard.
She says that, but it matters to the man. So men are not getting what they want. So they choose to be single, or at least some men are. Well, there's, you know, the incels are there too.
Is it by choice? Is that what we're speaking of, or just?
So I think a lot of it is by choice. I can just give you some other reasons why. Social media definitely is one of them, I think. Porn, I think, is also one of them. Young
Where's the
marriage
video
on
games?
the decline. People are waiting until they're
Okay.
a little bit older.
That is definitely
And
one big
also
reason.
What you said about interacting with people on the street, I think a lot of men are becoming hesitant and scared to approach women just in general. You know, you see all these videos online of women posting when men say hi to them and they're repulsed by it, or they get really upset. Like at the gym, if a guy approaches a girl at the gym, they get really upset. So I think there's a lot of things that are tying into this, but it's interesting to hear like from someone on the outside that isn't so like doing this for work, like why you would think that this is happening.
I feel like the internet also gives people unattainable ideas. And I wonder if these statistics are coming out just because more people are saying that they are not sexually active because of the internet. Like, I wonder if it's always been like this, but now people are really banding together and being...
She's right. I think has always been somewhat like this, except the numbers are just much higher now. There's always been a group of men that just never really got much play overall, because we know the statistics of only about 40% of men reproduce. So 60% of them, you know, their genes are lost in a sense. So from that statistics, yeah, it's always been a group of men that probably never really got too much play overall. So she's not wrong about that, but the rise in what's going on right now is at a number that's a little bit kind of ridiculous now. I think that's what the issue is.
Like, yeah. Obviously, we're living in a time as well where you don't have to get married and have kids by the time you're 24. So that's off. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Well, I think there's a rise in celibacy among women that I've noticed on social media. So I think that would relate to why more men are going sexless. And then also people are just becoming more comfortable with being alone, probably because of the pandemic, which isn't a bad thing. But I mean, human connection is also a good thing. In terms of loneliness, I don't know, maybe we're just like missing that connection that there once was, and there's so many more higher standards now for men and women and just relationships and just
No accountability on women's side whatsoever so far.
general. And I think the factors just go like back and forth. So maybe a woman like has not been happy with how she's been treated, or doesn't feel empowered by hookup culture, so then she just becomes celibate. So then the man or men are experiencing like less sex in their lives, and then I don't know, it just keeps going like back.
It's crazy that all women seem to think that all men just get play whenever they want. It's so revealing that they literally do not have the empathy capacity to empathize with men on this subject. They really don't understand the plight of men and men getting sex, because it's so easy for them. They just can't comprehend or get their heads around how hard it is for men.
Back and forth on the effect of one another.
Do you think that it's all men to blame, or do you think that women play a role in this as well? I mean, because there are a lot of single women too.
Yeah. I don't think it's all men to blame. I just think
what? Surprised?
people are not as good with interacting with each other these days, and
She is correct.
they'll go on
100% on
Tinder
that one
or
too.
something, to look for a hookup, but that's so much different and harder to connect with people than like back when you would just meet someone, which I'm not saying you have to just go meet someone on the street, especially because now with the media and stuff, you're scared to meet people in person, or like just some guy next to you. You don't want to go home with them because they could be a serial killer and this and that. But yeah, I just think as a society and collective, like, we're not as open to each other anymore. So it is harder to date probably right now. If a guy is sexless, though,
Do all women think we're serial killers on the first date? Hey, women that are sub to my channel, please leave a comment down below and let me know about that. Is that what you guys think on when you meet men for the first time, that there's some kind of serial killer or rapist? Just a question. I'm not sure about it, that's why.
They should feel bad about it. I think that pressure also really kills things in the mood for guys, like when you're so worried about it and feeling maybe emasculated or something like that. That can be really tough, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think a woman kind of like...
It's funny that they only say absolutely when she brings it up. When Courtney brings up, oh, is it men and women? No, but when she first asks everyone, no, the women's side never actually comes up.
Like myself, that is independent, hardworking, and knows what she wants. Not necessarily plays a game, but keeps her options open and wants to find somebody that
Doesn't play games, but keeps her options open. Isn't that playing games?
truly values her. So I definitely think women do play a factor in it because they could be on some games.
Oh, I feel like it really is your preference. Like if a height's a total deal breaker, then, and you're not going to be comfortable like with somebody that's shorter than you, then you shouldn't go after that, But
She said it right there. Don't settle. That's exactly why a lot of men are single, because women are not settling for a lot shorter people.
but I think like it definitely is valid for whatever is like holding someone back from being in a relationship with somebody.
She's pretty much saying that height is completely valid at why it holds people back from getting into relationships. People are allowed to have their preferences. I'm not saying they're not, but what does height really do overall? So you can grab something from the top shelf that you can't, but a stool fixes that majority of the time. So
Definitely like valid reasons.
Personally, I would say women have lower standards than if you would go back in time. And
I always hear this story: women have lower standards than men.
look at how high the expectations were from men to provide for women and take care of women. I feel like feminism has brought women to a point where they're able to take care of themselves. So maybe
She's saying as if providing and protecting is so easy. Like, the men provide and protect. The women should bring the other part of the relationship that the man lacks. This is kind of how relationships work.
it has something to do with women being self-sufficient and not needing a man in their life to provide for them, and therefore not having the need to have sexual relationships with men. So I think it's definitely just our progressive society, and not.
The way she's saying it is like, oh, now that we make our own money, we're too good for you. It really comes off as that. Like, now that us women make more money and make money now and control more things, we're just too good for men. Most men, at least.
Having the need to rely on men for anything.
Yeah, I think there's unrealistic standards going around, and I think it's partially because of social media, and it's so easy to get caught up on social media when really, like, who knows what percent of actual social media is real. Like, you could see
it's not real,
or someone that you don't even know, you just follow on social media, you know, her
did she just say social media is real?
Buys her this gift, but maybe he bought her that gift because she got him cheating. Like, you just really can't compare, but it's really hard not to compare, not to focus in on somebody else's life or social media. And
it's actually very easy not to.
Yeah, I'm probably. I mean, there's probably something that women as a whole, not everybody, but generally do that is discouraging for certain people.
Yes, you said men are like more afraid to approach women. Obviously, men play a role in that, but do you think women play a role in the kind of issues that are arising with dating as well?
Yes, but see,
it's always a yes, but. There's always a but. Can't be just a yes, we fucked up. Yeah, we do bad things. It's yes, but men do shit too.
I was raised, my parents have, like, you know, always said, you know, you should let the men approach you, or the men should make the first move. And that's just how I was kind of raised. And I know a lot of people, I'm not saying that's for everybody, because a lot of times girls make the first move, and I'm like, that's freaking awesome. But just for me personally, it's not comfortable for me. So, yeah, I hope that answered.
But do you think, like, a lot of women will get mad when men approach them? They're like, I don't want to be approached. Like, that kind of phenomenon? Like, men are genuinely
She did not
afraid
understand the
because of
question
what
at
women
all
do
until
online.
Courtney had to fully explain it.
I think that's a huge thing. That's a very big thing. I've actually even, some of my guy friends have been afraid to approach ladies because of that situation, because they're afraid that women are going to label them as a pig or something like that. I find it flattering if a man approaches me, and just the fact that he had the confidence to do so.
I think a lot of women do, actually.
What do you think that men can do to make themselves a better candidate in the dating market?
I think being respectful is the biggest thing. For myself, I'm just
They say this respect stuff and treat me right, but all of them seem to date the toxic guys that don't treat them right and don't really respect them. This is why we always say don't listen to women. Women give horrible advice to men because their ideals is not exactly what they do or want. Remember, listen to what they do, not to what they say.
a young woman in her early 20s, so a lot of the guys that are in my dating pool don't even know how to, make a woman feel special, like it's just for them. I see them turning their heads when we're walking on a date together, and that just makes me feel like they're looking for options and things of that nature. So I think if a guy was trying to impress a woman or, change certain habits about himself, making a woman feel heard and respected about whatever the topic may be goes a very long way.
I would say the first step is to stop feeling sorry for yourself, because just like you're not attracted to everybody, not everyone's gonna.
I'm gonna agree with her on that one. Yeah, stop feeling so sorry for yourself and do something about it, man. You know, work on your body, work on your money, work on your health. You know, get yourself groomed properly. You know, get some clothes that fits, that looks well on you.
Gonna be attracted to you. That's just human nature. I guess it's different for everyone. I don't know who these sexless men are, but
see, they can't even comprehend of these men, because these are the men they so ignore that it literally does not even cross their minds that these are real men or men in society. They only see the top tier men that have sex constantly and have women on their hands constantly. So why would they ever assume these things?
for a lot of them, it could just be as simple as, I don't know, work harder on yourself, or
It's all women can give us is work harder on yourself.
or where are the pieces that you're missing. And if you're insecure about not having the best job, why don't you look into changing careers? Or if you're insecure about
She's
how
not
you
wrong
look,
about these things. She's definitely
go
not
to the
wrong
gym.
about these
I don't
things.
know. Or just love yourself. I'm sure. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. It's not easy to fight insecurities, but therapy.
Stop going to the bars every weekend, Friday to Sunday. It's unattractive when you're wasted with your buddies, and in this day and age everybody thinks, the boys, let's get drunk, Sunday beers, Saturday beers. It's so not cute. So I don't know. Of course going out is nice, but to be sitting in a bar all day every day is just, it's a no-go for me. So
have confidence, which is easier said than done, obviously.
Oh, at least she admitted that. It's much easier said than done.
I think when you're looking for someone, like you're looking for a relationship, you're probably not going to end up in a great one. I think if you're just like, I need love, I need this, I need that, you're not going to end up happy. It has to start here.
Well,
But
I can agree
obviously
with
everyone
everything
wants
she's
to be
saying right
with
there.
someone, so going for people that it actually makes sense, the combination, and not just being like, I think
That women don't do that. Women don't use their sense when it comes to picking mates. If they did, they would pick the nice guys, and the saying would not be nice guys finish last if women had the sense to pick their correct mates.
people overlook people because they're like, well, I want a girl that looks like that though, and maybe that's not going to be your thing at the moment. So just not putting too much pressure on yourself. And
I can agree if you're looking for a woman that's certain caliber of looks and you're not doing well in life, you're just delusional.
going, I don't know, I feel like it's not a bad thing to not be in a relationship or sleeping with people at all times. I think it can be a really good thing. So the obsession with that I don't know, I think it just hurts people.
Yeah, I think it puts a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, she's talking about, it seems like she's
And then
talking about
when you hear
hookup
things
culture.
About like the rise of lonely men. Well, just because someone's single doesn't mean they're lonely.
This is
But it's
correct.
automatically kind of assumed that they are.
I would say just pick up on like the way that she's communicating with you. Like if you're reaching out to a girl.
See, it's always us having to tailor to women and do what women want. Almost everything they've said is very similar to this type of rhetoric. Nothing is about, oh, maybe we should probably lower our standards a little bit. Or maybe, yeah, we probably shouldn't go do some of these things. It's always, oh, men should probably do this to be, to attract us better.
And she's constantly like busy, or she's not putting in like any effort into meeting up with you. Like, don't spend so much time like pursuing that girl and start looking in other areas, because I feel like some times people have a tough time like picking up on those mixed signals, maybe through like text message. Like if it's mixed signal.
Yes, people are gonna have issues picking up mixed signals. It's literally in the word. It's called mixed signals.
Like if it's mixed signals, I feel like that's all you need to know to just like move past that. Like if it's not easy and not great. Like now I sound like I'm like saying like, oh, like she needs to be easy. Like that's not what I mean. Like I feel like if
So you're basically saying like don't chase women that
no,
don't want
I think
you
you
back.
need to like put in effort, like definitely put in some type of effort and show that you care. But like if you're completely getting like oh, I can't tonight, like maybe like next week or something, like over and over again, to the point where you're just putting in all your like time into one
Person?
I don't know how to put this.
What she says isn't wrong in a sense, but the whole dating multiple people and not putting all your eggs in one basket kind of thing is one of the reasons why it's so easy for people to leave relationships.
Like knowing when to walk away, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like knowing when to walk away and like not putting so much time into somebody who doesn't seem that interested in you. You know, maybe it's time to explore other avenues.
Yeah, I think a man not seeming too desperate or too clingy is a big thing. So like women always think they can change a man, but I think a man always thinks he can change a woman's mind. Like if
I guess so.
I don't know, if she's giving you a lot of the signs that maybe she's not too interested, like just take the signs for as what they are. Or even if she's saying like, I don't feel a romantic connection, but I'd like to still be friends, don't continue to be like, okay, yeah, I'll just be friends with you in hopes that she'll change her mind. You know, focus.
Women say this, but then when men say, no, I can't be friends with you because I'm still interested in you, they have a problem with it too.
Your energy on where it's best spent. Like, don't waste your time on women who don't fit your standards or aren't really the type you see yourself in a long-term relationship with. Spend that energy and time. Go
100% agree with that.
And don't waste your time when you've been given the signal that she doesn't want you.
What are traits that you look for specifically in a man? Like, what is your checklist?
I have a whole document. I like that, first of all, with
She has a whole document. I don't exactly know what how many pages a document is, so that must be a huge list.
looks, I like that like Italian Greek look, where they're like tan, have like dark hair, dark eyes. But you know, a lot of times with that look, when they're really good looking, they're not that great people. So I want someone who's a really good person, very loyal and honest and hardworking, but not too cocky, and someone who has one of those hobbies that's like hands-on.
She's like describing like the perfect man. If I wanted a friend, I'd want a friend, the friend that she's describing right now as a man.
Monique knows what she wants. Okay. Would you be willing to compromise on the Italian Greek beautiful look for the other things?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like all of my ex-boyfriends are not people that physically I would describe as my type.
That's why you're not with
but
them.
you liked other things about them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't just go out with them because they were willing to go out with me.
Traits that I look for in a guy. Honesty is a big one. Smart, intelligent, funny. He's got to be funny. He's got to be easygoing. I like to mess around a lot. So smart, funny, creative, for sure. Honest. We'll start
Things
there.
that women say.
I would say definitely a good like stable job. It doesn't have to be anything like crazy. Like even if you are just as long as you're doing something and
She
you
couldn't
have,
even
like,
think of a
good work
job.
ethic and you're working towards something, like I don't expect someone to be like the VP
Oh, so
of
she
the
didn't even
company
say you have to work towards something. This is the thing that a lot of women
or
always
something,
say.
but as long as you're working towards something.
What if I'm
think
just
that
working
that's
towards
very
$50,000?
important to me, being able to have like passions and hobbies, like things outside of what you do every day at work is very important. Like being able to have fun, like go out with me, like go to concerts, like you want to do things like try new restaurants, like you're not like so much a homebody. I don't like sitting at home. I like being out, so that's important.
For me, I look for good communication skills. I think communication is everything in a relationship. I also, friendship is more important to me than romance at the end of the day, because you can have passion and you could have
friends
a great
that
sex
you don't have
life
to.
or whatever.
This
But
doesn't even make
if we're
sense to me.
fighting and we're not aligning mentally, I mean, you can find passion and good sex from a ton of people, but I think friendship and just really getting along here is the most important.
You can get
thing,
sex
because
from a
that's
lot of
rare.
people. I don't know about this.
So that's what I
passion.
look for: style, humor, getting along with my friends, being friendly, great manners, obviously. But yeah, I think the mental is really what matters to me the most.
I'm looking for a hardworking guy that's honest, loves his mom, really just takes care of himself, and
I think
has
most
a little
men
bit
love
of,
their
like, a boundary.
moms.
You know, I like to get my way. I don't really like to be told no. I mean, what girl does? But stands up for himself and has his own boundaries and his own standards that matter to him. I think that's super attractive for myself.
I've thought about this a lot. So I have a very specific list. Values like health and wellness, is a life learner, has a life learner mentality, so likes to learn new things and experience new things, but also likes like a daily routine to keep them in check.
It's funny how all these women describe a very, very similar man. And it's a very unattainable man, to tell you the truth. This man is men amongst men if he can do everything that these women are asking.
So whether it's like working out, the gym, spending time with family, friends.
I'm not going to try to say bad things about her, but it doesn't look like she works out too much. But she wants a guy that's in the gym. Just a thought.
Loyalty, I feel like that's a bare minimum thing, but it needs said these days. I don't know. I think the life learner mentality is the biggest thing, because that kind of like creeps into all aspects of life, like career, hobbies, skills.
It's funny how none of these women, only one actually has mentioned looks. Everybody just scaves over looks when that's the number one thing that they're actually looking for. Is if that man does not meet a certain look criteria, they're never going to see or meet any of these other aspects of these men.
Ambition.
I'm a very personality-driven person.
So, sure you are.
Empathy is very big for me, and self-awareness and social awareness and emotional intelligence
But yet you don't have any.
are some things that I actively look out for while seeking a potential partner. But if you're all those things and you're ambitious and driven, then you're at a really good point in your life, and then I can like put in that trust within you to be able to achieve your dreams and goals. So it doesn't really matter where you are in life right now, like financially and professionally for me. What matters more is you have the drive to strive for more.
So you guys, that drive and ambition, it's a big deal for women. This is why a lot of men need to find a purpose and find their drive.
And be able to grow together.
Do you think that sometimes women have unrealistic standards for men?
Yeah, I'm sure. Definitely, like, there's probably some sort of, like, standard that women will have in their heads about how they want to be treated and stuff.
Is this the one that said that she had a document of criterias?
And that might not always be realistic, but I definitely think it's a good thing. Like, it's beneficial that the standards are higher, and, like, women aren't willing to settle, I guess.
Yeah, I think people always look baseline for looks. Like, you want to be attracted to someone.
Hey, she admitted it.
Being friends with someone first and then dating them has ended up in the best relationship I've ever been in, rather than just being like, oh, that person's hot. And then you ask all the other questions like, well, do we align morally, this, that, and you kind of find that out as you go. And I think the best way to go is really getting to know someone first.
I think she's right. For a lot of relationships that do well nowadays, they've met through others. They did not meet just through social media or dating apps. They met through friends of friends. So from what I can tell, the people that say, "Oh, I got a man that you might want to be interested," and they'll explain them to you, and then they start getting to know each other. That's, I think, is the best method nowadays, because you're not going in it cold turkey. The person that referred you this person already somewhat vetted them for you in a sense. They might not fully meet all the criterias or everything you're looking for, but the likelihood of this person being a decent person is pretty high because your friend referred them. So I agree with her a lot on this one.
Obviously, you have to be attracted to them, but I feel like people see pictures or they'll watch TikToks, and
this is how most of society is nowadays.
See
just literally
people and
looks.
be like, I want that. I feel like also social media has kind of romanticized fighting with your partner, which I don't know.
I don't know if it romanticizes it, but it does bring it up to light a lot.
Together, I think people have an idea of what a relationship should look like, and everyone's different. You have to feel it out yourself.
I agree. I think women are.
I think it's a lot of people don't know the boundaries of what they should still post and what should stay private. Most people's lives are so public now that it makes it hard to deal with a partner when you're so public about everything. You know, there's things that your partner does that you're going to spout out on these TikToks. You know, oh, men do this, women do this, and it makes things tough, right?
Are definitely unrealistic because everybody makes mistakes and people will say dumb things. If you get to really know a person and know their true core values and what they stand for, and you're trying to build that firm relationship, little petty things that might matter at the beginning, long term may not really affect that. But being an unrealistic woman will absolutely, one, take away your opportunities, and two, just kind of close yourself off as a category. You know, you could be a bitch, you could be unrealistic.
I remember this was the 250,000 chick.
You could be sassy, unavailable, whatever the case may be, and I think you could set yourself up for failure.
Oh yeah, she's the Pagani chick also. So, like, she says this now, but then later on they ask her the question of all the salaries and her car and stuff. She's quite unreasonable about it.
Yeah, I think it's also totally okay as a woman to have standards.
Yeah.
Women,
Oh yeah.
but you better be holding yourself to those standards too.
Right.
Right?
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing sometimes that women forget is, okay, well, you want this guy to be XYZ and do all of these things for you and treat you this certain way, but it's like you won't even text him back. So what's the real true playing field here? I think it definitely goes both ways.
I would
Agreed.
say in today's time, women definitely have the ability to stay single for as long as they want, because it's obviously socially more acceptable to be that way. So I would say women definitely would be single for as long as they want until they find the right mate.
It's becoming more popular now to go after, to really vocalize going after someone who is really wealthy, really good looking.
That's exactly what you described.
Well, and I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but I think there's certainly a number of men who aren't willing to treat you as well and maybe don't look as good as, you know, Zac Efron, and maybe don't have as much money, and instead of working towards that or trying to find someone that doesn't feel that way, they lead to bashing women.
I think women set expectations way too high. Like, a lot of the girls, he's got to be, you know, a boss at his job. He's got to be making this type of money. He's got to be driving this type
She's
of car.
reasonable.
There's so many women these days saying they have to marry rich, and it's just so sad because, you know, all of that money, the fame, whatever, that goes away. It's like, what's in here? And women putting these standards on men, it makes them feel less confident to go out and start dating and doing those things. So I don't know. I just, like, again, for me personally, it's not about the money. You have to be hardworking. You have to be motivated. But, you know, it's a journey. Life is a process, you know. So that's my answer.
And then what do you think men are looking for in women?
I think it all comes down to just like looking for that connection. So I don't know, I've like read and heard things that like men want to feel wanted or needed, nurtured.
They
in a
don't
way.
even know.
Like, I don't know, I feel like most men are just like big babies. Like, it's not as
because we want to be feeling wanted and needed, we were big babies. That's not what they're getting out of this?
deep as we think it is. So they just want to feel like that connection with a woman and feel cared for, but maybe they get that feeling in different ways than women get from men.
A big one would be confidence, because a lot of women nowadays are insecure. So when they get in a relationship and a guy even says hi to another female, they freak out. Or I know a lot of females stalk
they do
their significant others' social medias. But you know, if you're confident in your woman, you should know what you bring to the table, what you offer. And if he's not appreciating that, then he's not the one for you. So I think confidence is big. I think just respect is another huge one, because a lot of girls nowadays at the clubs, man,
respect is number one.
So a woman with, you know, confidence, good respect, good morals, good upbringing, I think those things are very important. I would hope that's what men are looking for.
Men are looking for just...
They really don't know, do they?
It's different for every guy. But I would hope that they're just looking for, you know, what women are looking for, like someone to hang out with, someone to get to know, someone to experience things with.
No, we are not looking for the same thing you guys are.
For guys, I think that they want someone they can hang out with. Obviously, sex usually for men is a huge thing.
All right, she got that part.
Being chill, I think guys don't like confrontation
She got that part.
and fights, obviously. I don't either. I know some people do, but being easygoing, I don't think
okay,
guys,
she's naming some good
pressure
stuff.
Also from girls, like I think guys really want to be the one kind of leading the whole relationship. So if a girl's giving too much, they get scared off at first. So yeah, I think that's a big one as well. I think eagerness kind of.
Well, why do they say we get scared off? Like, we're not scared or intimidated. We just don't want to deal with it. Us walking away, not wanting to deal with it, means we're scared off. Is that what women always seem to interpret it? They always wanted to use everything to shame us in many ways.
It turns guys off.
I feel like men are really hard on women these days, just because we are expected to be all these things and wear all these different hats. We're expected to be these boss ladies. But
Why do all of them think this? No man, not very many at least, want boss babes. Like the rhetoric that women push that they're boss babes is literally the least most attractive thing to men. It's so crazy that they think that that's what men are looking for.
But also feminine, also really good in the kitchen, really good in the bed. So there are a lot of expectations.
So she named 4 things that men really want them to do. Is it that hard to do? Like, it's not. Like, what do you guys want from men? 100K plus. That is not easy to do. You want a very established lifestyle. You want to be able to travel all the time. That's not easy to do. You want him to be fully emotionally available, but still make a massive amount of income. That is also something that's very hard to do. You know, I think giving a man sex and cooking and being nice to him is pretty easy for most women to do.
Expectations on women from men to like fulfill the role of the wifey material.
It depends what kind of man.
She says that, but you still expect the man to fulfill the husband role and material. So why wouldn't he expect a wifey material? That doesn't make sense.
I think the person who I would look for probably wants a woman that has her own success. And I think a lot of men want a woman who takes care of herself, whether that's physically or mentally or really both.
I mean, yes.
And feels like they have a purpose and isn't too dependent.
All right, she's right on that one. Yeah.
A man.
They do have
It's the
somewhat
same
of a purpose and
thing.
not too dependent on us.
It's different. Back in the 50s, it was you stay at home, you take care of the kids, and that's what you do. And now they want independent, hardworking women. So
No, we do not. Why do you guys keep thinking this? We still like it traditionally. It's just a lot of men can't provide that life. That's just what it is. So for the women that want to stay at home, most women still want to be housewives. And most men would love to provide for their wives and not have them work. So yes, it is harder in society for most of these men to be able to do that now.
I think a lot of guys just want a down-to-earth girl that doesn't really play games, is not out there talking to 10, 15, 20 different guys.
Yes,
and
correct.
knows what she's looking for and doesn't have to go to the bars every single weekend just to feel better.
All right, guys, that is all I have for this video. If you like this style of video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.
How was that, chow, guys? No accountability on most of the women that were speaking. Most of them just kind of blame men. And the only reason why they ever mentioned women doing things is when Courtney asked them. I just don't think many modern women actually care to think about what they're doing in the relationship. As long as they're not happy or they're not feeling a certain way, it all gets put down to the man. It is what it is. I mean, chow is harsh for men. I mean, men has been eating this kind of chow for all of our lives. So I think women start eating this type of chow when they're in their 30s, mid 30s. So, and they hate it. They think this chow is disgusting. Where men, well, I mean, it's not like we like it, but we've also have eaten this most of our life. So the gruel is part of us. All right. Thank you guys. Put a like and subscribe down below. If you guys like this video, I love Courtney. I'll put some descriptions for her down below also. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao time, guys.